welcome to Redvee TV, post semi-final, pre-Huddersfield, as we try to get back on the horse and the start of the Super 8s.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect to get straight back into
it. Semi-final, done and dusted, stopped caring about it Sunday night. I raised the memories and just got to get back on it. At the end of the day, we're 8 games away from a potential grand final.
Yeah.
And people shouldn't lose sight of that. I've seen some ridiculous comments on some like the Saints Facebook page and things this season. Do you know what? We've lost 3 games all year. Yeah, it was a crucial one. Yeah, none of us liked it. We choked on the big occasion. We didn't perform. But we're 8 games away from potential 80 minutes away from being champions again. And that's what we've got to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I say, it's ideal to get straight back into it, kind of right them wrongs. We were bullied by the Catalan pack, I thought, and that made us choke because we just didn't have a second, like a plan B. And yeah, it's a case of, I saw a tweet before, the Men in Black memory eraser.
Yeah.
Just
if you haven't seen it, have a look at it.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. The players, fans, just get it out of your system. We've lost 3. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Get behind the lads again.
And I think that's the thing. Do you know what? I don't want the players to erase it. I don't want the coach to erase it because I want them to learn lessons from it.
Well, yeah. You know what I mean by erase it.
But from the fans, yeah. I've seen people saying, "Oh, these are pointless games coming up." They're not pointless games. It's a chance to get form and work on how to improve, so that when we get to the semi-final this time round, that we go that one stage further and get to the final again. It's about finding form and finding the platforms that work and getting back to our early season form.
Yeah, and it might be confidence as well, because it may well have taken a battering on Sunday. So getting a bit of confidence behind. And listen, this is a banana skin on Friday. Huddersfield are another form team. Since they've got the new coach, they haven't half bounced. So it's a big, tough game to come into.
I've seen people whinging about the squad that we're putting out. It's basically the same 19 as last week, saying, "Oh my God, the players are knackered, they're all on the behinds, that's why we lost to Catalan." That wasn't why we lost to Catalan. At the end of the day, Catalan, yeah, they did rest players the week before, but Catalan have pretty much played the same side all year. It's worked for us every week up to now. We just didn't execute. Now, how much would it harm us if we went to lose on Friday and we lost back-to-back games after losing the semi? I think this season, after every defeat or every poor performance from a certain individual, Justin Holbrook has given them opportunity to get straight back out there and right the wrongs. And it is, as you say, a banana skin on Friday night. So it's important that we play the strongest side possible, get this League Leaders Shield and top spot and home semi-final and the £100,000 reward that comes with it wrapped up as soon as possible.
Yeah, and it doesn't change his philosophy. Because if he changes that now, it's going to leave the players in limbo. If he turns around and says, right, you know what, I'm going to drop those of you who didn't have a great game on Sunday. I mean, he might make changes. Some of the 19, who didn't make it, was it Smith and Costello? They might find themselves in the team. Might find themselves in the 17. But yeah, to change his philosophy now would be a bit of a strange one. So you'd think that they would come in if somebody was carrying a knock. Or was really fatigued.
And for me, if Barber's carrying a knock, which he looks like he has been, rest him or not rest him. Let him heal up.
Yeah, well, you know what, I was saying this to one of my mates before. We've got Huddersfield at home, then we've got Wakefield away, and then we've got a week off. Is that not the perfect time to turn round and, if we have got somebody of Ben Barber's calibre carrying a knock, would it not be the perfect time to kind of turn around and say, listen, have 3 weeks off the rigours of playing? It'd still be training. And you still have a couple of weeks of games before exactly.
the semi. Yeah,
and we've got the players who can fit in the, like, if we drop Lomax back to fullback, you are missing Ben Barber there, but you're putting an England international fullback in instead. Theo Farge can come into the half. You've got 2 games where you can literally just give people a bit of a run and give them that bit of confidence. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that Ben Barber definitely should be rested. After all, Justin Holbrook's gained our...
See, I don't think it's a case of resting him. It's if he's injured or he's carrying a knock, but you allow him to heal up. Resting maybe not the word for it.
But Justin Holbrook has had our trust and gained our confidence throughout the season. I'm not entirely sure that's what he would do. Is it the right thing to do? Trust in Holbrook?
I get the impression that once we've wrapped top spot up, that's when he might look at a little bit of rotation.
Possibly, yeah.
Because obviously at that point we're not riding on the results. Yeah, it gives us a chance to try different combinations, give players a little bit of game time in case there's any injuries like come up really late in the season. But is it Wigan have got is it Castleford Wigan have got tomorrow night? So Castleford could beat Wigan, we could win against Huddersfield, and essentially, apart from points difference, that would be top spot. So yeah, I'm sure the players, after what happened on Sunday, want to get straight back into it. And do you know what? After that opening half, we were much better in the second half, but we'd left ourselves too much to do, and then we were trying to throw the ball about and be expansive. And you're even seeing it on the last play of the game where Tommy Mickelton's taking the tap and just trying to kick over the top and just to try something, because they never give up. And do you know what? And that's why I didn't want the apology from Justin Holbrook. For me, it's not warranted. The effort was there, the performance wasn't.
Yeah.
The players didn't give up. They all want to go to Wembley. They all want to win a trophy. So we've all seen performances in the past where there's not been the effort there, but the effort was there. Performance wasn't, and it's just unfortunate that it came in the semi on Sunday. So I'm sure them players want to get out there and make it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to distinguish between what is like the effort and the performance, because you can try and try, and the ball didn't stick, did it? You have a look at how many times did Mark Percival drop the ball?
But you look at the week before against Warrington. The performance in the first half, I don't think was great there. No. I don't think the performance was great in the second half, but the effort again was still there, and we came away with the Danny Richardson drop goal, which we'll all penalty. I keep saying drop goal, don't I? Penalty that we'll all remember for years to come. Now, if you can be there in the stand, bouncing round, celebrating that, then you shouldn't be turning your back on the side because they haven't won the semi-final.
Yeah, I can understand people.
We have got knee-jerk reactions from some.
Yeah, I think you always get that. Every club will get that. But yeah, you know what? It's done. It's over.
We've had more good moments this season than probably for many a year. Even years where we've gone on to win it.
I think it amplifies the bad moments when you have so many good and it becomes the norm. It does amplify.
I think it was the expectation. My biggest disappointment coming away from Sunday was we didn't turn up. And I felt like we'd missed the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's not taking anything away from Catalan, they were fantastic. But it feels like we'd let ourselves down.
Yeah.
But do you know what? That's sport, and it's cup football, isn't it? And unfortunately, that's how the champions decide at the end of the season. Now, we're not going to change our tune here. Or I'm not anyway. I think I banged on when Castleford were winning it, when Warrington were winning it. I don't care about the League Leaders' Shield. I never have done. For me, the champions are decided. We all know the rules. The champions get decided at Old Trafford. Now, top spot's important because it gets you the home semi-final. For the club, there's a big financial reward for it. But if we only win the League Leaders this season and nothing else, you'd probably have to say the season will be a failure because our expectation is so high from outside the club and within the club as well.
Yeah, I would like to be more about the League Leaders' Shield. I'd almost like it to be decided after 23 rounds. Obviously, then keep your points, but you can't call them champions. But the League Leaders' Shield sounds like best sportsman at your club, most improved player. It doesn't sound like that's a prestigious prize. And if you're getting $100,000 for winning it, which is potentially the difference between you signing a good marquee player and not being able to, which for some clubs it definitely is. It's a good chunk of money. That it is disappointing that it's not seen as a big.
And do you know what?
I can't blame you for thinking that either.
At the end of the day, Castleford had that great year last year, but didn't win it. In 5 years' time, people are going to go, who were the 2017 champions? Leeds. Not it was over how great Cass were. So we took the mick out of Cass with the champion scarves that they had. And do you know what? We haven't changed our tune because we're top of the table. The focus is on Old Trafford.
Yeah, absolutely.
And winning the title there.
You want to be champions, and if by the letter of the competition the champions are the people who win at Old Trafford, then I want to be champions. I'm not that bothered about league leaders.
Top two.
Club is.
I've always said top two because I want a home semi-final to give ourselves the best chance of getting. And do you know what? Between finishing first and second, well, you're going to be playing one of three, Cass, Warrington, Wigan anyway, so whoever finishes fourth, there's not much in it. It doesn't really make much difference. Yeah, the kudos are finishing top of the table, but the focus is on Old Trafford. And do you know what? I don't think I'm saying anything that Justin Holbrook and the players or anybody else would disagree with by saying if we do not come away with the winning the grand final, we'll have to consider this season a failure with the team that we've got and how dominant we've been throughout. And that's sad, but that'll be because we've let ourselves down.
Yeah, I hate the word failure. I hate the word that the season will have been a failure. It'll be judged as such.
And that's mad, isn't it? Because you think about it, we could potentially win every game in the Super 8, so another 7 wins, so we'd have about 28 wins and lose 1 game. So we could have overall
and not even get to the grand final.
Overall this season, we could have 4 losses in the whole season, which would be less than anybody else, and we'll be considering the season a failure. But that's sport, isn't it? And you're judged on trophies, not finishing second in the table.
Yeah, not having a
or not finishing second.
Mad that, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is one to ponder.
Yeah.
So do you know what? We just need to finish top of the table, win the semi, and win a final.
That's it. Easy.
That's it. Season will ride on 2 games at the end of the season.
Of course it will.
And that's what we're judging on at the end of the day. It's like cup football, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, the squad's the same.
Yep.
Bit of a monologue, that one. Not monologue, but well, monologue's on one of us.
Hail and pace.
Hail and pace. But yeah, so what do we do Friday? We'll go strongest. If Barber's not fit, who do you play fullback? Do you move Johnny Lomax, put 5s and halves, or do you drop Matty Costello in?
Personally, I'd drop Costello in. Why not give the lad a chance? I don't think he would. I think for him, Farge is the next one in, so Lomax had dropped to full-back. But I almost think, well, why change 2 positions when you can just drop someone into one? And it gives him game time. I don't think he's been completely out of his depth when he's played, and I think young players obviously need game time as and when they can get it, and why not in a big game like this? I completely expect Ben Barber to start the game.
Ryan Morgan's still out.
Yeah.
Bit of a worry. Obviously, he probably comes straight back in the side. And not great news on Alex Walmsley this week either.
No, that's it. The update was almost not an update, but wasn't a great not an update. It's just the fact they want him to heal a bit more. But the most important thing is Alex Walmsley's health.
And do you know what? Essentially, the season's a write-off for him. There's no point rushing him back to play a couple of games
if he's fit for the semi and the final.
But would you put him straight back in after such a lack of game time?
Yeah, he's something different.
Okay.
He might be blowing after 10 minutes, but we play with Mossy Masai for.
I was going to say, we have Mossy for that. I have to go a big beard and put about 5 stone on to be like that though.
Yeah.
He's got the beard. Semi-final venue, Bolton. Now I've seen people saying it was great, and this is not winning or losing. I thought it was crap.
I've said a couple of times now, jury's out for me. It didn't feel like a semi-final. Going to it didn't feel like a semi-final. It felt like Magic Light.
Transport links weren't great. We heard stories of fans being stuck on the motorway, which is...
Is that the RFL's fault?
Well, it's putting in a stadium that's so inaccessible with a place where there's no trains running on the day. It's a bit...
Yeah.
But
is that the RFL's fault?
But if it's known as being a venue that's not accessible and you're asking 28,000 fans to travel there, my issue with it was never more than half full throughout, no matter which game was on.
Yeah, you're always going to get people who turn up for the first game and go home, or stay for a little bit of the second game, then decide to go home to beat traffic, or people for the second game don't turn up for the first one.
Or people who were only interested in their own team.
Exactly. One of the issues that I've seen raised is the RFL like these events, and do you want an event or do you want a stadium full of people who care about the game, that actual game that's on? So say it's against Catalan. Yeah, we might have only filled Ruskin for it.
My impression of it is that the RFL will judge it as a success because they sold every ticket.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they'll do it again next year.
As I say, jury's out. I think...
From a financial perspective, it worked for them.
Yeah. And there's bits of it that were good, because once you were at the stadium, there was plenty of places to go and eat and drink and whatever.
Do you know what I'd do? Make everybody in before the first game and lock the
doors
gate so you can't get out. You've got to come in. Maybe the option is to try maybe put a couple of pounds on tickets, try and subsidise the drinks and the food in the stadium and try and get people to come in earlier rather than drinking around the stadium.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't know.
Possibly so, but as I say, it just reminded me a bit of Magic, and as I've said in the past, Magic Weekend, I love it, but it's 2 points at the end of the day, and at no point...
That's more of a festival.
Yeah, at no point before the game, and it sounds really weird turning up to a semi-final, but at no point before the game was I thinking, oh my God, this is massive. And I should have been, because it was a semi-final. Yeah. And people might put that on me, but it's not. It's when you've got the build-up to something like that, I want to see just 2 sets of fans knocking about.
Yeah, I think we had a bad feeling running up to it, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's a couple of people who watched this who probably saw us before the game and asked us how I thought we'd get on, and I said I wasn't confident. One of the journals said we'd score, but we put 30 past them and win by 30. I said I don't think so.
You're going to name names?
No.
All right. Can I start guessing?
But yeah. Right, so back on the horse, Friday night. Yeah. Do you know what? Forget the semi. Forget the semi, it's gone. That's the end of the talk about it. It's about focusing on the rest of the season, and we'll march on. And do you know what? If we're lifting that trophy up at Old Trafford in October, we're not going to be worried about Wembley at that point. Oh, by the way, Wembley quickly. Do you care who wins?
No, absolutely not.
Will you be watching it?
No.
Well,
I'm on holiday.
But let's fill Wembley. Do you know what? I don't care what sport it is. I don't care how much of a fan of the game I am. I wouldn't go watching a final where my team's not in it.
No.
I just couldn't. I'd just sit there throughout, sick that it's not my team winning.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm a one club man.
Yeah.
That's the end of that. Right, 16.5 minutes, we better let people go.
Yeah.
You're probably bored, and if you're still watching us now, get a life. What are you wearing today, Kev, by the way?
A Saint shirt. Valenciennes, this.
Before anybody moans.
Valenciennes
right.
Away. Hey, I got some good comments about my Dream Team shirt last week. Somebody thought it was Oldham Athletic.
Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Try and get us over 900 subscribers. And we'll see you Friday night for Instant Fan Reaction on Redvee TV. And hopefully we're back on the winning horse. See you later.